This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Monday, February 15th, 2010, and this is episode 682 of WDW Today. I'm Matt Hochberg of StudioCentral.com. And joining me on today's show is Mike Scopa, a senior feature writer and blogger for allears.now. Welcome back to the show, Mike.
Imagination. I have no opening tonight. I have no opening. I'm too tired.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yes! Yeah! Yes. Nice.
Awesome.
Also joining us on today's show is Len Testa, co-author of the Unofficial Guide to Walt Disney World. Welcome to the show, Mike. Or Len.
Mike, whatever the hell your name is.
We look.
Thank you. I want to say that Scope is exhausted because just last night he's calling me from the Magic Kingdom. He's like, hey, how long does it take to get to Kidani Village from the bus? I'm like, I don't know. 24 minutes? And then
No,
so
you
we
said
timed
50. You said 50.
Yeah, that's right. 33 to
Thanks,
something. And it took you 23. Yeah, 33 to something. Funny.
Nice.
You guys.
Also joining us on today's show is Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. And Mike, I can almost smell pitchers and catchers.
Oh, 7 days?
Yeah, it's coming up. It's coming up.
More importantly, I can almost smell s'mores.
Almost. Yeah, Katie better bring those.
She
said
better.
She would.
Yeah. Don't tease me now.
That's right. Don't tease me, bro.
Nice.
Well, on today's show, we're struggling for ideas. Gee, what in Walt Disney World is new? And we were kind of spinning in our chairs, and the Disney World gods were
Smiling upon us.
Smiling on us, exactly, because they delivered to us, I'm sure you've heard by now 1,000 times, about Summer Night-tastic. And Mike Scope was actually at the press event to cover it. And among the things what was that?
He's live at Pop Century.
Yeah, live, that's right. And he was there.
Just nothing says not live news.
That's right, like Disney's Pop Century Resort.
Exactly.
And Summer Night-tastic is an interesting development that Disney has announced. And this was last week now. But Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about what Summer Night-tastic is and what it means to Walt Disney World?
First, I must correct Mr. Newell. I am right now speaking from a Kidani villa right now. So.
No one likes it when you brag.
Yeah.
No one likes to show off, Mike.
And I just want to say it's awesome. I saw the Bay Lake Towers villas, Grand Villa, and I saw the Kidani villas and Grand Villas, and I'll take Kidani over Bay Lake Towers any day.
Reminds you of those early days, no? When you were, first getting out of Africa and going over to Asia.
First evolving opposable thumbs. And...
That's right.
My God.
All I want to say is, can you get on with this show?
Can you get it?
Okay, so last night. Yeah, Summer Night. So last night I attended the press conference at the World of Sports at the Milk House, and Meg Crofton got up on stage, and they were talking about. She was talking about what's new, and she was talking about what's next, and she was talking about tradition and things like that. So she got everybody excited by saying they were bringing back starting in early June, and my guess is that means one of the first 2 weeks in June, they're bringing back to the Magic Kingdom Electrical Light Parade as part of their Night-tastic promotion. And what they want to do is they want to push the summer evenings this year. They want to bring people to the parks and have them stay at the parks later than they have been. Apparently, this is something that they want to push for this year, for this summer, saying how summer evenings are going to be really special at the Disney parks. And so summer Night-tastic is the term that is being used, and I think that term was tossed around in California in Disneyland and maybe at D23. So the Electrical Light will be coming back in June. It will not be led by the Blue Fairy. They're going to use Tinkerbell to lead the parade. There are going to be some new floats. I think that the music will be the same. There will be a Snow White float. I always thought there was a Snow White float, but there's going to be a Snow White float. There's going to be a Pinocchio float. So they've added that. She also mentioned that there will be a new fireworks spectacular that will take place in the Magic Kingdom. No name was given. No other information as to when it would be starting. But the discussion around this was that it will bring with it different kind of colors than we've ever seen before. I don't know what that means, different combinations of colors, and there will be special effects that have never been seen before.
From what I understand, the fireworks, or what I've read so far, is that the fireworks that they're going to be bringing are actually the fireworks from the Pirate and Princess parties that are now defunct. with the perimeter fireworks. Is that what you've heard, Len?
No, I didn't hear that actually, but it's a great observation.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to stop you there for a second, Mike, and talk about the Main Street Electrical Parade, because that's it seems to be the crux of the whole thing over here. And actually, let's take one step back further about the whole Summer Nightastic thing. Len, they've been doing this in Disneyland. I don't know how long, but what can you, based on your experience at Disneyland, what can you tell us about Summer Nightastic and how about the event? But also, I think what's perhaps even more interesting was what we believe is what brought it over here to Florida, because it's obviously something very new to Walt Disney World.
Yeah, so Disney has a habit of moving established parades around resorts, right? Because Electrical Light Parade was in Tokyo Disneyland for a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually didn't it go to Disneyland Paris for a while? Has it been there yet?
I think it's been all around the world.
Yeah. So they have a tendency to do that. It's probably cheaper than building all new floats. Right. But
they're just Spectrum Magic isn't being retired. It's just being
it could be refurbished, being moved or something. Yeah. The thing about the new fireworks though is interesting because to Scopa's point earlier, it's something where they're trying to get people to stay in the parks later, and that's what I think it is. I mean, it's good to have the variety. Wishes has been around for a few years. They needed to change something up, even if only temporarily. But I think this is purely a play to keep people in the parks longer. It's just like we saw the Animal Kingdom parade earlier this month get moved back an hour.
Yep.
Exactly that reason. So it's a pitch to keep people in the parks longer. And during summer hours, it makes sense because obviously the parks are open later then, and it doesn't get dark until later. So
yeah, what was interesting to me though, I love the idea. Don't get me wrong.
I love the parade. Yeah,
the whole idea of Summer Nightastic really, I think, is a great idea. And I love to slam Disney as much as the next guy, but I think it's a great idea. Got to give them credit where credit is due. But I kind of found it a little interesting that they're promoting summertime because, come on, let's be honest, summertime is one of the most popular times of the year at Walt Disney World. That's not the time of the year where they're really struggling with attendance. So I found that aspect a little interesting. What did you think about that, Len?
So Disney did its earnings call last week and said that
not a coincidence.
Yeah, did you hear what those numbers were though?
Yeah, they were a little down.
10%. Future room bookings were down 10% now. Some of that has to do with the way that the dates fall in their quarter. So there's like an extra week in December in the last quarter, one less week this quarter. But this quarter, the first quarter of 2010, January through March, has a little bit of Easter in it, whereas last year didn't. So saying that it's down 10%, even with some Easter, means they're still down 3 or 4, maybe 5% net based on the Christmas overlap too. That's not good.
Yeah.
So a couple of things. So I think this is an attempt to keep the people that are going to Walt Disney World in the parks longer, rather than trying to use discounts to lure more people in. Because remember, Disney's about what Bob Iger said, right? They're trying to wean people off of discounts this year. One way to wean people off of discounts and keep your revenue neutral is by getting the existing people who are going to spend more. And I think that's what this might be.
Let me ask Mike something. Scopa, you obviously had a chance to talk to a lot of different people in Disney. Did you get the sense that this Summer Nightastic, the decision was made a long time ago? Did you get that idea, or was it kind of a recent thing where they kind of thought, we better act quickly?
I think it was something that was decided within the last month. I just get that feeling.
Really?
I think that what Len says has a lot of merit to it. I think that what they want to do is they want to sort of, if you can't, how does that Crosby, Stills and Nash song go?
If you can't love the one
you're with, or
wait, you can't be with the one you love the one you're with.
Yeah, exactly. So they want to make hay with those who have been coming, and
exactly.
It makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And one of the things they're doing as part of this Summer Nightastic is funny, because I had written it in one of my blogs within the last month or so, is that they extend the hours in the Animal Kingdom. And we're talking not just one night, but they're talking maybe 2 or 3 nights a week or whatever. They really want to make the most use out of that park. And I think what they're trying to say is, like what you were saying, Matt, is if they can extend the hours of one park and keep people in there, then that's got to generate some revenue. It's going to cost them in overhead a little bit, but maybe they expect to make that back in revenue with I don't know, with restaurants and maybe with souvenirs and things like that. But that's part of it. I think that, getting back to your question, Matt, I really do get the feeling that this was done. This was done within a month, about a month or so. They decided, we need to do something, and it's a quick, dirty, and cheap way of doing things. Perhaps that electrical light parade was on its way, and the fireworks, you just can't change the fireworks right away. But
Yep.
But when you think about it, the announcement and the lead time, 6 months, that to me kind of spanks of a last minute decision, because if it wasn't a last minute decision, they would say in a month or so, in 2 months or so. So I think by moving it out 6 months, they also do another thing, and that is that those people who are planning their summer vacation now will have this information, and they could say, well, we weren't going to go to Disney, but they're bringing the electrical light parade back, and they're going to have fireworks, that brand new fireworks in the Magic Kingdom, and there's a new drop sequence and special effects that's coming with the Tower of Terror, and they're bringing back the summer concert series at Epcot. That was a real eye opener for me, because I know that was a budget, that was a budgetary decision. But bringing the summer concert back is, to me, that's big news. And of course, the Animal Kingdom extended nights. But I think that because there's a long lead time, that also supports the idea that this was a last minute decision.
Let me ask Mike Newell something. I mean, Mike, I think you're a big fan of the Main Street Electrical Parade. Tell us, what did that mean to you when you heard that was coming back? Because I think that was a favorite of yours, wasn't it?
It certainly was. And going back to what we spoke about this past Friday, tradition, and that brought back my trip of 1980. And right away, maybe that's the new tradition, is that we see that again this summer when it comes out again. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. For me, I mean, I'm really looking forward to the Tower of Terror changes coming. What's going to be interesting is, what's that?
Me too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, Mike.
Can't wait.
First in line.
Can't wait.
What's interesting is that they're going to make these new effects and the drop sequences. I'm going to be interested to see that if they're really going to, after the end of the summer, they're going to pull that back and go back to the current drop profile and everything. Because it sounds like everything that they're doing here is obviously for the summer, and it makes sense for the parade. It makes sense for the Sounds Like Summer concert series. It makes sense for the Animal Kingdom. But the Tower of Terror, I was kind of interested to see if they will pull that back. Also, might make sense. I mean, they do. Obviously they do overlays for some attractions in Disneyland predominantly. So that would make sense to me.
What do you mean pull back, Matt?
Like that after the summertime, it would go back to the Tower of Terror would go back to being like it is today.
Oh, really?
Because it says drop-ins this summer.
It sounds like they're going to. Yeah, well, I talked with a few more people about that today, and it sounds like it's a new, or it will be an added drop sequence. It won't be, just a temporary one. It sounds like it's just
so.
It's a new phase. How they used to call it phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. I think they're in phase 4 right now.
Yes.
And this could be like phase 5. And it sounded like it's something that they've been playing with. I know that they've been playing with the fireworks. I have a contact down here who
Pyromaniac.
Yeah, Pyromaniac, who knows the manager for Wishes, and she said that she lives near the Magic Kingdom, and she said they've been hearing some fireworks nights well after the park has been closed, and she asked him, and he said, yes, we're testing out some things. So that's already being tested, and I think that just everything is going to be somewhat permanent. I don't think there's going to be a pulling back. At least I hope not. Obviously, something like the extended hours in the Animal Kingdom, that's different. But when you're in the summertime, when you have long days and the sun goes down late at night, it's understandable. I'm not sure exactly what extended hours means. I don't know if that means they'll have extra magic hours. I'm sure they would like to have extended hours so that the entire public can get in there, not just resort guests.
One of the things that they're doing some changes here. We talked about the Main Street Electrical Parade and the fireworks. What do you guys think is going to? How much of an effect do you think this is going to have on the averages? Not us, because obviously, as soon as Main Street Electrical Parade comes back, I'm sure Newell already called the net immediately, and it was like I need a trip immediately. But what does this do for the more casual Disney World guest? I was thinking, Glenn, if you were going to tell one of your sisters, like maybe you were going to tell Linda, or you were going to tell anyone in your family, really. Do you think this would, the Main Street Electrical Parade is coming back and they're doing this new thing for Wishes for the summertime? Do you think they would be like, oh, that's nice, or like, wow, really? Now maybe we should come down for the summertime?
Sorry, was there a question in there?
Do you think that these kind of announcements, what effect do you think it's going to have on the average guest, so to speak? Do you think this is going to be?
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to again. It might be geared towards people who already are predisposed to go, like us. Uh-huh. We might throw in one extra trip. I'm already thinking that the annual Hannah Len father-daughter trip will be after the middle of June, so we can actually get to see Main Street Electrical Parade. So yeah, it'll probably work for the diehards. Yeah.
Okay. So what if you told Christina, your sister? Do you think she would be like, oh yeah, we definitely got to go, or?
Good question.
Yeah. What do you think, Scope? What do you think? How much of a draw do you think this is going to be for the quote unquote the average guest?
What do you tell me what the average guest is first? I need that definition.
Maybe someone who doesn't doesn't listen to this podcast for sure. Someone who comes to Walt Disney World maybe once a year, and I think they're to me it seems like they want to get people to come back. Again, maybe it's 2 times in the year, similar to what they do in Disneyland. Because in Disneyland, they're obviously appealing to locals, and they want locals to come back multiple times per year. So that's why they have events like Summer Nightastic over there. And the idea then would be at Walt Disney World, one would presume, that they would want people to come back multiple times in the year here.
Well, the question is, what was the target audience? The question is, who were they trying to get excited the most? Was it those who are drinking the Kool-Aid, meaning us, or is it someone who is the casual visitor who comes down maybe once a year or once every 2 years, and maybe trying to get them to think about maybe adding a trip to see all this new stuff? I don't know if all that was announced would get the casual person to come down. I don't think it would. If I was a casual visitor, number one, I wouldn't be as excited as the person who's drinking the Kool-Aid as we would be. We're kind of excited because we're down here all the time, but I don't know if that would really do the trick to bring someone down. Now, if they are indeed doing this to have someone come down who's thinking about going to Harry Potter, to think about, I want to make sure I visit Disney and I'm going to stay at Disney. That might be at Walt Disney World or in the park, on the property. That could be the case. I know that. I'm not sure how close the Harry Potter exhibit is opening, but if the Harry Potter exhibit opens in March, this isn't going to do much good. But if there's if there's a target audience, I think that it's not really the casual guest. I really can't buy that.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's end this here with kind of a grading system, A through F. Obviously, A being perfect, couldn't do any better. F being a total failure. What would you guys give this promotion, Summer Nightastic?
Taking everything into consideration, the parade, the fireworks, anytime you change the fireworks at Magic Kingdom, it's a big deal, I think. So I'm going to give it a B+.
That was exactly what I was going to give it, Mike. I don't think it was quite A level, but I think I was really surprised by it. I thought it was a good decision. It got me excited, and maybe that's what you guys were saying. It's not so much geared towards getting my parents to come, because they'd be like the electric what? But,
yeah, exactly.
But for us, I know that, even if I didn't live in Florida, I would definitely want to make sure that I'm going to come down and see the Main Street Electrical Parade one more time, at least, if not more. So B+ definitely for me. What do you think, Glenn?
I was thinking C++ ish.
Okay.
Only because.
Yeah, go ahead.
The parade's already been in the Magic Kingdom. It's not like they had to go out and create something new. The fireworks comes from Disneyland. It's not like they had to create something new. The drop sequence in the Tower of Terror. Okay, but they've already got the ride to do that. So I give them props for coming up with something new, but it's not like it's an entirely new ride or anything. These are really tweaks to existing things.
That's a good point.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I mean, the fact that I like those things, and I think that Fireworks is going to be an improvement over Wishes, in terms of the effects. I don't know if they're going to actually outdo the soundtrack. By the way, I listen to the soundtrack every single day on Mouse World Radio.
It's great.
It is.
Ding.
And,
Yeah. So C+.
okay. I was just saying, for the Tower of Terror, if you ever get a chance, go on YouTube and search for Tower of Terror in Tokyo, and you can see what lighting effects and special effects can do to the Tower of Terror over there. It's
awesome.
amazing. Newell, what about you? What's your letter grade?
I'm going to give it an A-.
Whoa, you're a fan.
Whoa,
well-
slow down there, Mike.
Fanboy.
That's my personal opinion. I think for the casual theme park goer, it's anywhere from a B- to a solid B. But I think for me and the electric light parade alone is going to be the A for me.
Well,
That's true. I do love. Yeah, put the part. All right, cool.
well, that's it for us today. Don't forget to visit us at WDWtoday.com. Don't forget also that our next live show is this, I don't know, it's this Sunday, but it's February 28th at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Details at WDWtoday.com. For Line Test of Mike Scopa and Mike Newell, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
Stupid Judy, stupid energy.
This has been a production of Mouse World Radio.